Hi, and thanks again for joining us as we go on the journey. This is a journey that takes people out of poverty to middle class to wealth, and it's true because we don't want you just to think about the financial elements. We want you to think about the spiritual elements. Spiritual poverty is much more devastating than the financial, physical poverty that we so often think about. So we've taken a break from our E-Cube series to do this journey. This is part 3, so if you missed the first 2, go back, see what happens when you are in Gilgal and Bethel, because that's where we're leaving. We're leaving Bethel today and going on, and so we're in 2 Kings as we investigate this journey. So here we'll start right here in 2 Kings chapter 2. It says here, then starting at verse 4, then Elijah said to him, "Stay here, Elisha, the Lord has sent me to Jericho." And he replied, "As surely as the Lord lives and as you live, I will not leave you." So they went to Jericho. The company of the prophets at Jericho went up to Elisha and asked him, "Do you know that the Lord is going to take your master from you today?" "Yes, I know," he replied, "but do not speak of it." Then Elijah said to him, "Stay here, the Lord has sent me to the Jordan." And he replied, "As surely as the Lord lives and as you live, I will not leave you." So the two of them walked on. 50 men of the company of the prophets went and stood at a distance facing the place where Elijah and Elisha had stopped at the Jordan. So they go on. We're going to talk about Jericho. Now Jericho represents battle. Now as a man, you think about battle and you think about the glory of battle. And in reality, battle is ugly. It destroys lives. It destroys hearts. I've known too many who have struggled after literal battle has taken place. But the same thing happens in the spiritual realms. But not only is the spiritual battle here in Jericho, not only are we looking at that element of it, we're thinking about victory. The walls came down at Jericho. There was victory there. But in order to do it, it's going to require courage. Courage and obedience to God. Courage to be obedient to God. In my life, I have chosen to be the storm. Now, when I was a child, there was a tornado that came, ripped through my neighborhood, and I had this neighbor, great guy, really nice, gave us a good deal on, he was a farmer, so he gave us good deals on corn and watermelons and all the things that he produced. Just a great, nice guy. But his house was kind of run down. He was busy farming all the time, didn't have time to fix his house in town. So it was kind of crumbling. And we had a storm come through. This tornado came through and ripped through our neighborhood and did a lot of damage to that house. And the insurance company came in and fixed it up. That storm made his life better. In our lives, we need a storm to come through and change things. So we've gotten too comfortable, my brothers and sisters. We've gotten too comfortable with the world as it is. And as a body of believers, as men and women who love Jesus, we can't be too comfortable with it. And that's what happened with the Pharisees. They got too comfortable. They were afraid that if they followed after Jesus, the Romans would come and take away their privileges, their position. That was what their fear was. We've gotten too comfortable. We need to become the storm. We need to not have comfortable Christianity. No cushy church chairs for me. No soft faith here. We're going to have to be strong, courageous. God, in this place of Jericho, when you journey to this place, He's going to bring you face to face with your sin. I don't want to deal with my sin. The hurt that your sin has caused. I don't want to deal with the hurt that I have caused. I want to blame someone else. I want to go back to Gilgal and blame others. But my sin has caused trouble. And He's going to show it all to you in this big mess, this rubble, this trash that we have created. And the truth is, it angers me when I see what I've done. First of all, I want to say it was somebody else's fault. I want to do the blaming, and then I realize it was me, and I'm angry. And I'm frustrated and I'm hurt. But after He shows it to you, God does something really interesting. It's really kind of remarkable, if you want to know the truth. He forgives you. He stands by you, looking at the mess that you created in your life, and He puts His arm around you and tells you that together, you and Him, you and Jesus, are going to take care of this junk. It's a big pile. It's a big mess, and He's going to help us work through it. He's not going to ignore it. He's not going to just make it poof, go away. I mean, He has the power to do it, but He doesn't do that. But it's here in Jericho where you begin to really experience all the joy of the kingdom of God. It's there that you're going to experience the joy, first of all, that you survived. I mean, there's just a happiness. Boy, when I look back at my life, I can't believe I've survived this long. Then you're going to look around and you're going to see that victory has happened. The walls have come down. They have crumbled. Everything that I held onto my life, fear, failure, the things I've devastated, the abuse, the mistakes, all that is simply a pile of rubble. There's great joy in that. That's a mess, but we got to clean it up. But it's no longer stopping me. Nothing is going to stop me now. And again, Elisha could have stayed there. He was ordered to that. And again, many of the prophets, even those who have progressed past Bethel, past that place of comfort, into this battle, they stop here and they relive these days. And I go to different churches and they'll talk about all those glory days in the church when people would be praying until 2 in the morning. They'd be kids would be asleep under the pews as we prayed and we worshiped and we cried out to God. The glory days of revival. They get stuck there. He could have stayed there. Here is the last, where the loss is internal. It's more a part of you. This is where you start to get to this place where I can't imagine waking up and not spending time with Jesus. In this place, you spend time with Christ. You cannot imagine going anywhere or doing anything without Him. You desire to have Him in every part of your life. That's what happens in Jericho, but that's not all there is. You're going to have to really absorb courage, because next time we're going to talk about crossing the Jordan. Crossing rivers is a big deal in my heart. We're going to talk about that next time as we cross the Jordan and see what God has for us over there.